What's up, all you nerds and virgins?
Tyrone Tyquil Woodley, you know, he's best known for putting the fans to sleep. He doesn't put his opponents to sleep anymore. You know, the only thing he's doing to his opponents is hurting their eardrums with his whack-ass rap album.
And Wonder Boy, the guy's almost 40. Sit down, kid, and stop identifying as Wonder Boy. You're not a boy, you're a 40-year-old man, and you drive kids around in your little karate truck.
He's got all these stipulations. I only got one stipulation. Let the whole world watch. We don't have to be in an octagon. We can go to a park and we can do it. Let the whole world watch and, you know, let them enjoy themselves. Kind of like what Dustin does when Connor's in bed with his wife.
Presenting the challenger, Colby Chaos Covington.
Imagine you conquer your dreams of being a UFC fighter. You do so well that you even become ranked in the top 15 of your division. And even then, the company tells you that they are going to cut you from the promotion because you aren't a big enough draw. What would you do? Would you be able to remain calm and walk away? Or would you do as Colby Covington has done and develop one of the most irritating, valuable, and controversial personas we have ever seen in sports history, yet sacrificing your morals and relationships for this success? Colby Covington is one that is almost too similar to the likes of Batman's greatest enemies, Two-Face. And like Harvey Dent, something terrible would happen to Colby that would force him to step out of his normal personality and develop something more brash and villain-like. For Harvey Dent, it would be acid on the face, and for Colby, it was Dana White saying that he wasn't extremely popular, especially with his grappling heavy fight style, and that the UFC would eventually be cutting him, win or lose. But here's the serious problem with that. Colby Covington had just previously gone 7-1 in the UFC since his debut, and he was absolutely dominating his opponents. Somewhere before his fight with number 2 ranked Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist Damian Maia, Colby would be informed that win or lose, the company would be parting ways with him and he would not be given an extension to his contract. It's at this moment that I personally think there's a crack in Colby's heart, and for good reason. He has put his life's work into this dream, this plan, and after becoming extremely successful in the sport, because it was not appealing to the eye the way he was defeating his opponents to the fickle fans of the UFC, it simply was not enough. And after leaving Damian Maia in a puddle of his own blood, he takes the microphone and changes the course of his life forever.
Unanimous decision, Colby Chaos Covington.
I should have knocked him out. Brazil, you're a dog. All you filthy animals suck. I got one thing to say. Tyrone Woodley, I'm coming for you. If you don't answer the front door, I'm going to knock it in, and I'm going to take what's mine. That welterweight belt. We ain't translating tonight, baby. All you need to know is, bring me my belt. Where you at, Tyrone Woodley? Colby Covington, my God.
This post-fight interview would turn Colby Covington into one of the most polarizing figures in the UFC and well in pop culture in general. Colby had always been a great fighter with great wrestling, but he knew he needed to change his social presence and actually be something that people wanted to see. With that being said, we have all been privy to see one of the best to ever do it in Conor McGregor.
Conor, take a look around you. You got a lot of champions, a lot of grizzled vets. Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage?
Right here. Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. They're not. Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that? Oh my God.
Conor's brash personality and knife-like wordplay, followed by his spectacular knockouts, was a recipe for top-notch revenue sales. So for Colby, seeing this and also using his bachelor's degree in sociology that he would earn at the University of Oregon, with Chael Sonnen also being a close friend to Colby, he knew he needed to take some sort of heel, and that's exactly what Colby did. Yet Colby Covington did not care how much of a bad guy he was. I mean, he knew by saying
Brazil, you're a dog.
And that Brazilians are a bunch of
You filthy animals.
that this would draw a ton of attention on a national scale. And of course, it did. Not to mention politics in recent years have been some of the most intense ever, with so much social media presence now being involved. With everything from protests and riots going on, Colby Covington still chose to take the stand and back the armed forces of America and Donald Trump, which ultimately half the United States isn't really a fan of. Now, by attaching his name to big-name political conversations, Colby would explode in popularity due to the fact that people were either so eager to see what he had to say next or hated him so much that they simply wanted to see him lose in the octagon. I mean, the guy pays girls to walk around with him. he clearly knows optics is everything. Donald Trump would naturally take a liking to the fighter that supported him so intensely that he would even have Colby at the White House, and I'm sure most of Donald Trump's UFC fan base also loves Colby as well. Colby is also a great trash talker, and like I said before, with Chael Sonnen as a close ally, it has certainly been proven that he has learned how to be an extremely entertaining villain in the UFC. I mean, the guy has a nickname for every single fighter that he does not like, and they are all extremely insulting.
That little Australian shit stain, Alex Volkanovski.
You think Millimeter Peter measures up to Sugar Sean?
We're fading that fat tub of dog shit tied to Ivasa.
Public execution of Phony Montana, aka Journeyman George, the Street Judas. Featuring the world's biggest cuck, Dustin Poirier, taking on the punch-drunk alcoholic, Ducklip Gagey.
Cum shot Chimaev, cum shot,
Low T City Ortega, and we know what low T stands for, low testosterone.
UFC debut beat Dan Hooker.
I heard about that hooker before. Is she still a hooker? It makes sense that Edward Scissorhands, Leon Edward.
Gilbert Burns.
Who's that?
Now, all this does is really get more fighters pissed or upset at him, and in turn, they're more likely to call him out for a fight, naturally making Colby constantly relevant without having to do much fighting actually in the octagon. At the same time, in combat sports history in general, trash talk has always been a very common thing.
You've been very adamant that you're going to stop him in one round. Can you enlighten us? Tell us why. Tell us why you're so
there's
confident.
no way I can miss. He has a big ass head like the koala-shaped head. You're fucking koala with chlamydia, man. What?
This top G over here, motherfucker with a status, trying to let dudes fuck his wife. Cheeto's a fucking stand-up motherfucker. He's a fucking hard man.
Let's make America
I got you, fucking Cheeto. Let's go.
At least my dad didn't fuck me.
You got your ass whooped today, buddy.
No, I didn't. You're I wish they would let me next door so I can spit in your face.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that,
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
But I would also like to think that the MMA community is one that truly prides itself on self-respect and respect of others. Even though you guys have literally signed a contract to fight each other until one can no longer in a set amount of days. Fighters may get into a scuffle or screaming match leading up to a fight, but at the end of the day, most fighters know they're gonna fight eventually, so there really isn't a point to get too emotional when all the verbal banter starts flying. Now that is for most scenarios, but there are some rare occasions where it can get very personal. And it just so happens that Colby Covington makes every fight he's in, with everyone he's around, extremely personal. Now it is also common knowledge that the way Colby acts is just that. It's an act. And videos have always surfaced of Colby Covington out of character, seeming like a decent human being with good moral values.
12 or like even younger than that. So it's like, I mean, I've been training since I was 17, but like, it's just some advice from
You truly love it. It's your passion, bro.
Yeah, it is, man.
You'll find a way.
It is.
You'll find a way. You put in the extra workouts. You'll do whatever it takes. You work on the boxing, you work on the wrestling, you work on the jiu-jitsu, and you'll find a way. That's what my coaches at Iowa used to always tell me in wrestling. You find a way. Even if maybe it's not the conventional way. Find a way around. Find a shortcut. Find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
Just believe in yourself. Never stop believing, my brother.
Thanks, man. Actually, I appreciate that, man. I don't know. I know you could live your life the way you want, but I think you should show this side of you more, the real humble, like, I know a lot of people see that.
That's not what's up.
Yeah, but hey, man, it's more likable, I can tell you that much. Yeah, man. Thanks, man. All right, good luck, man.
Thanks a lot.
But Colby Covington's UFC persona has no morals at all. From making comments on Dustin Poirier's sexual relationship with his wife and Conor McGregor, to most recently speaking on the death of Leon Edwards' father, who was murdered when he was just a boy.
Get knocked the fuck out after, bro, you're a fucking idiot. You might be the stupidest guy on the UFC roster. Literally, you're so fucking stupid. On Saturday night, I'm gonna bring you to a place you never want to be. I'm gonna bring you to 7th layer hell. Okay. No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there. Oh!
Some fighters see right through it and don't really play into his antics, but others like Jorge Masvidal simply can't bear another man speaking on his children, which I personally understand and respect.
Hey, bro, you don't have no man. Don't forget about your kids, bro. Don't forget about your
mentioning my kids, bro.
You're a deadbeat.
You're
a fucking deadbeat.
Keep mentioning my kids.
What are you gonna do about it? Oh yeah, you ain't gonna do
you up
shit.
on Saturday and
you ain't
get
gonna
paid for
fucking
it.
do shit, bro.
I'm gonna get residuals off of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you are, bro.
You ain't getting shit.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna be
okay,
getting money
yeah,
for you for the
okay.
rest of my life.
Now this would be where Masvidal would actually put hands on Colby outside the octagon, which would actually lead in a court case, which I personally think would cause Colby to lose a ton of his fan base just based on the fact that, He threw sticks and then he hit his hands, you know what I mean? He said some really messed up stuff to Jorge, you know, about his family and stuff like that. And then when Jorge showed up, you're gonna sue him? And either way, this might make people tune in a ton more, but most of these people probably just want to see Colby lose. And I'm sure this naturally puts a ton more pressure on Colby. The reality of it is that as beneficial as this character has been for Colby's career, it has most certainly been a double-edged sword. At this point, I can't even get a beat on what Colby's true personality is actually like. Many fighters have come out and given tons of takes on who Colby is when he is not in character. From the likes of John Jones, who was his college roommate, to Jorge Masvidal, who has so much history with Colby, you really can't tell if all the negative things he has to say about him comes from actual hate or from just hurt.
Question, the Colby Covington fight's on Saturday, and you go way back with him, and a lot has been made, you know, is this an act, is what he's doing, is it real, is it really him?
Yeah.
You've known him for a long time, was that him back then?
Yeah, Colby's a habitual liar at the end of the day. He really is. I mean, he told the fans that we lived together for 2 years. We lived together for 1 semester. He's just, I've made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of people don't consider me to be a good person, but I mean, coming from me, Colby's a really bad person. He really is. He really, really is. I mean, there's no coincidence that, you know, Tyron Woodley got to know him and hates him. Masvidal got to know him and hates him. I got to live with him and really don't like him.
But then you have others who have actually came out and said that Colby is a nice guy, you know, outside the octagon, and when he isn't trying to be someone he's not. We at least know that Colby Covington is absolutely not someone you would want to train with, and is not easy to train with by any means, based off the fact that he was kicked out of American Top Team for having many issues with Dustin Poirier, Jorge Masvidal, and even Joanna Jędrzejczyk. The thing is that Jorge would also be kicked out of the gym as well, but he would be let back in, and I assume because majority of the fighting was probably because of Colby Covington.
Did you legit get kicked out of ATT because of him?
Not now. I'm back. They brought my ass back. They suspended us both. Our general chief and commander Dan Lambert had put kind of like a rule, like if you don't have a bout agreement signed, I don't want nobody talking crap to nobody in the team, you know. And Colby had said like numerous things to me already, and he's the one that had always like said little puns here and there, and I was just completely ignoring him, like, oh, whatever, you know, I'll see you when I see you, right? Blah, 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 blah. And then I had enough one day, and I said something back, and then I got us both kicked out. I talked to Dan about it, and then he was like, you're right, bro, this guy's a piece of shit. He's got to go. I'm going to bring you right back, you know, where you've always been and where you belong, and let this coward sink elsewhere.
This would also be a huge point in Colby's career because he had found a home at American Top Team, and to have to part ways with his gym and his home, I'm sure left a hole in Colby, probably pushing him deeper into his character and role of being a villain.
So what is going on? Because all of a sudden I'm seeing all these reports that you've been removed from the American Top Team website. Are you no longer affiliated with that team?
That is correct. I'm affiliated with Colby Covington Incorporated as of now. You know, I'm my own team, you know. Dan, I love Dan. Dan Lambert is still a great friend to me. He's a mentor. He's a second father to me. Dan Lambert gave me an opportunity. I can't thank him enough. You know, he's good people, but it's time to move on, Ariel. Everybody knows all good things come to an end. I fulfilled my debts there. You know, I was there for 10 years. I started my MMA journey there at American Top Team. And, you know, we went to the top. You know, Dan Lambert has everything. He's got UFC belts. He's got WEC belts. He's got Pride belts. He's got WWE belts. But, you know, what I feel accomplished as a fighter going there and being able to do something that he's never done before, I was able to take him to the White House. So I feel like I fulfilled my debts and we had a great run together. But, you know, it's time to move on. You know, it's you know, we're evolving, we're growing. And you know, just like the saying goes, Ariel, the sun sets, the sun rises, the caterpillar turns into the butterfly.
Okay, so I guess you're the caterpillar turning into the butterfly.
We have seen many fighters previously go solo and it do wonders for them, but for many it can be a downward spiral, accompanied by a revolving door of new coaches and sparring partners who will not know that fighter like their old team did so well. For Colby, it would definitely be the latter. As with American Top Team, Colby would go 10-2, and after leaving American Top Team, he would only go 2-2 in the UFC. Even though Colby might not ever get a title shot again after his recent bout with Leon Edwards, he has certainly made a ton of money from the act he has put on. His pay-per-view and gate numbers for all of his headlining events are always top earners for the UFC. So in general, this could probably explain a significant decline in his ability, as I'm sure a fighter naturally can get complacent and comfortable with millions in the bank. Enter Conor McGregor. Again, Colby has also started fighting increasingly less after splitting with American Top Team, and this could also be because of his age, but either way, judging by his last performance, retirement might be in question for Colby, as he has just hit strike 3 for title shot chances. The thing is with Colby is that he actually is an amazing fighter minus all of his antics. Coming from being a 2-time Division I NCAA Pac-10 champion, Colby's relentless cardio gives him one of the most pesky and suffocating offensive fighting styles. We have seen Dana White and former champion Kamaru Usman vouch and say that Colby would have been the champion had Kamaru Usman not existed. Before Colby lost to Usman, on a 7-fight win streak, he would take out Rafael dos Anjos for the interim title and Robbie Lawler in an absolute dominant fashion, which is a huge feat in itself, I must say. And honestly, for this reason, I kind of feel bad for Colby, just based off the fact that it almost seemed like Dana White in the UFC just didn't accept him for who he was naturally, which is probably one of the worst feelings to feel at all as a human being. Even though he had literally done everything the right way, the way it needed to be done. But because he wasn't a big mouth talker, and it wasn't what sold, the UFC was actually going to part ways with him, even though he was such a great fighter. Not to mention, Dana would allow Kamaru Usman to leapfrog him and strip Colby of the interim title due to a nasal surgery that Colby would have to undergo that only takes 3 to 4 months to heal. So Dana White could have definitely waited. For this reason, can you really blame Colby for taking this as far as he has? By no means do I support any of his negative notions to any fighters, especially ones that aren't even fight related. But if you or I were both put in that situation, I'm not so sure we would have chosen different. We are not knowledgeable to the pressures and thoughts that Colby could have been facing before the serious fame and success before he started his great act. And who knows what the welterweight division would have stacked up to look like had Colby Covington just fought Tyron Woodley for the unified title instead of Kamaru Usman.